Well, hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. Well, this is the video I've been trying to get made for about a week now. But I wanted to go back through and do a bug out bag or a get home bag or an inch bag. For those of you that don't know what that means, inch bag is I'm never coming home. INCH. You know, still a bug out bag. But either way, this is what I keep in my bag. And my bag is more, if I go out of town, this bag goes, if I go anywhere other than to work, and because my work truck's a single cab, I don't have room for it in there, and my toolbox is full. When I drove the van for work, I kept it in there, but either way, I can't. So I keep my plate carrier with extra magazines, tourniquet, medical kit on the side. I keep that in my work truck because that's what I need. I can survive for a day or whatever it's going to take me to get home. That's the point of that. This, for me, is a minimum of 3 days, up to 2 weeks of me getting by to get home, or if I go out of town, something happens and I need to get home, this is going to emergency get me by. That's what it's for. A lot of the stuff I keep in my bag, I've made myself, and maybe I can go over a few things that's going to help you come up with ideas, or maybe you've got an idea that you can give me that I can add to my bag. But typically a get home bag or a bug out bag, you want to keep to about 30% of your body weight or less. So 30% should be your max weight that you want your bag to weigh. Now this is a large backpack. It's got room for the water bladder in the back, which I do not carry with me because that's a gallon of water is 8.3 pounds. So in order for me to tote the water bladder in the water and all that, it's going to take, add a lot of weight to my bag. And I know that I'm not going to tote that for too far. Plus, when I'm in my work vehicle, or even if I go anywhere, I keep a little cooler with me all the time. In that cooler, I've got a quart jar of pickle juice because Rocky Mountain spotted fever makes me cramp a lot, especially if I've done a lot of physical work, during the day or whatever. And those of you that don't get a lot of cramps, okay, you can deal with it. Let me tell you something. Your hamstrings cramp up, your chest, your back, arms, whatever, it makes it very hard to do things. So I drink a lot of pickle juice for that reason. When I start cramping, I drink some, I put it back in my cooler. And then I keep 2 half-gallon containers. That was Mott's apple juice originally. Wash them out. One's got clean drinking water in it. I freeze about an inch or 2 in the bottom of that container overnight. And then I fill it up with fresh water in the morning and put that in my cooler. And then I've got another Mott's apple juice half-gallon container, 64 ounces, that I freeze about, an inch or 2 of tea in the bottom of it because I love Louisiana tea. That's what I drink mostly. Doctors making me drink water, so I keep, a lot more of that. But I freeze it and then I fill it up in the morning and put it in my cooler. Now, in that cooler, I've got the tea, the water, and the pickle juice. But in the side pouch on that cooler is where I keep my sidearm, my, freedom stick with some extra ammo and a few things like peppermint, just because your blood sugar get low or whatever, you never know what you're gonna run into. But that'll just give me something. And I'm not a diabetic, I am borderline, as they say, but that stuff, those things can get you out of a pinch. So anyway, I'm gonna go through, and I know I've already talked too long, I'm going to go through what I put in this bag. I'm going to pack this bag as I tell you what I keep in this bag. Now, typically I go through my get home bag at least twice a year, sometimes 3, before it gets real hot and before it gets real cold. Now, we've had a couple of freezing nights already, so I'm already behind the 8 ball on this. But I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't changed anything. I would rather have something extra in my kit that I do not need than to need something and not have it in my kit. But I'm not going to put something in there that I'm probably not going to need that I don't want to throw away. Because if it came down to it, I can dispose of a lot of this stuff and make my bag a lot lighter. I don't want to walk 30 miles with a 30-pound pack on my back. This bag weighs about 18, 19 pounds when I get it loaded. So, I'm going to go through, I'm going to start at the bottom of the main part of the bag, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to pack this bag. This thing's got compartments everywhere. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing is, it's got compartments everywhere. Bad thing is, I don't use all those compartments. Probably could, but either way, I pack it for me. You pack yours for you, but I want to go through what I've got. So, first thing I put in the bottom of my bag is an extra set of clothes. Now, I'm going to open this up and show y'all. I'm not going to show you every little detail, but it's very important for you to have extra socks. Even if you don't have a change of clothes, keeping your feet dry is vital when you're having to walk where you're going. You get wet, you need to get dry. I don't care if it's hot, cold, you know, that matters, but your feet being healthy is the number one thing you need to worry about as far as what's in your bag. Keep an extra set of socks in there. So, then I've got some underclothes. I've got a t-shirt that is a rather thick material t-shirt. So it's in there, and I've got an extra pair of pants in there, and then I've got these camo coveralls. Now, if it's really hot and I don't want to have on all these clothes and the coveralls, I can just put on the underclothes and coveralls and be fine. But if it's cold, you know, I can only take so many clothes off in the summer. But in the winter, if you don't have enough to keep your core temp up, you're in trouble. So that's the first thing I do is I put my regular clothes in there and I roll them up inside my coveralls. And the coveralls are, of course, two purposes. One is to help keep me warm and clothed, but at the same time, they are camo. So it helps me blend in with the bushes if I need to not be seen. So that's the first thing that I put in the bottom of my go bag is an extra set of clothes. And I'm going to go do something. Hang on one second. Okay, so keeping your feet healthy and dry is very important. So I went and got another pair of socks. I actually thought I had two pair in here. That's the purpose of going through this bag. If I forgot something, I can add it now while I'm going through it. So I'm going to stuff them right down beside my clothing. So now I've got two pair of socks. If I need to keep my feet warm, I could put two pair on, or if I get wet, I could change to them while I dry the other pair. So that's the first thing that I put in my kit. Now, a lot of people are going to be out there, and I understand y'all's comments. I'm not a wilderness survival guy. I am not the just walk out in the woods with a pocket knife and survive for a week guy. I don't know all the edible food that's out there. For example, you can eat acorns, but you have to wash those acorns, you have to grind them up, crush them up, then you have to keep washing them until all the white powdery substance that was in there is gone to make them not bitter and make it where you can tolerate to eat them. And you can do a lot of things with acorns. I'm not doing all that while I'm trying to get my butt home. My purpose is to keep me relatively healthy for however long it takes me to get to the house, or go get my kids or my grandkids, whatever it is. If this bag's at home, I can always add a couple things to it. But if it's with me and I'm out of town and I'm trying to get home, that's the way I pack my bag. It's my mentality is, do I need this to get home? So the first thing is a fresh set of clothes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab the water and tell y'all why. All right, I've got this stainless steel water container. It has a seal, and actually, I didn't lay this stuff out perfectly. That's trash from the other video. There it is. I've got a mini Sawyer water filter in this Ziploc bag. I've got the water treatment tablets and the tablets that help it taste better after you treat it. So if I can't, for whatever reason, use my water filter and I need fluid, water, I can use those tablets. Look, These tablets make your water taste like poop if you've never tried it. They suck. But you can get the ones that's got the tablet also that goes in there to help neutralize that so it doesn't taste so bad to you. Now this mini Sawyer comes with a syringe for backwashing your filter. The filter is in here, right there. It comes with a bag that you can screw onto the filter so you can fill that bag with dirty water in the creek or puddle or wherever you're getting it from, and then squeeze it through your filter into a bottle. These bottles will screw right onto that mini Sawyer. So let me open this. Golly, I tightened the mess out of it. All right, that in my left hand's not strong since that stroke. So anyway, this is fresh drinkable water. My whole house, my whole property actually, the water system is treated through a filter that I have out at the well. It filters down to 0.01 microns. So it gets 99.9% of the bad crap out of your water. So that's what I use. It's actually cleaner than the bottled water you buy in the store. They filter that stuff down to 12 to 8 microns. It's very seldom you find one that's filtered less than that. So I've got that. Now, I've also got my stainless steel container. Now, it is also full of fresh drinkable water. So this is a 32 ounce, which is great. It's got a good replaceable rubber seal. There is one in it now, so it doesn't leak. Then I've got the 20-ounce bottle. That's all the water I carry in my bag, because remember, a gallon of water weighs over 8 pounds. This will last me for a while. If I come across a creek or whatever, I can always stop and filter more and fill them back up. So the mini Sawyer water filter weighs very, very little compared to what it'll do for you. And I keep that in there, and I keep this stainless steel 32 ounce container, and I keep the 20 ounce container. And the reason I use the stainless steel, no colors, no paint, no nothing. If I need to boil this, I can boil water in this container. Take the cap off because it's got the seal on it and you don't want to melt your seal. But take the cap off, put this on your fire, open lid, of course, and boil your water so it's safe to drink. Hopefully with the mini Sawyer and the water I take with me, and plus what I keep in my cooler, I won't need to boil water, but if I need to, this serves that purpose. So, also, when I get to the food part, a lot of those MREs and dry, dehydrated foods, you need hot water to rehydrate. So you can heat your water up in that container. So this stainless steel weighs a little more, but it serves more purposes. Now I always stick that in the side compartment here, so it's not in the main part of my bag in the way. I stick the bottled water, the 20 ounce in there with it, and then I grab that zipper. It's hung, there we go. It was hung on one of the clips. I got to manipulate it so I can move it, guys, but I don't fake this stuff. It's fighting me. All right. I'm not going to fight that hard. We'll take that out. I'll put it in the other side. Remember, I don't have this bag anywhere near full. I could probably put double the amount of stuff in this bag that I've got right now. So I'll put this 20 ounce bottle on this side, and I'll take the water filter in my Ziploc bag and put it in there with it. And that'll close up nice and easy to get to without having to dig through the bag. So there's food and water. So the next thing I want to go with, we're trying to cover the 3 or 4 basic things that you need to survive. You can go up to 3 minutes without air, without oxygen. I'm not packing a gas mask. I'm going to avoid crowds and people, so I'm not going to do that. Second thing, you can go up to 3 days without water. I've got water covered. You can go up to 3 weeks without food, but I've got food covered. And then 3 hours without shelter in extreme cold or heat, right? So we're going to do the shelter part right now. These little Mylar emergency blankets, I keep 3 in my bag, and there's a reason for that. One is I may need to wrap myself with it. And if it's raining or whatever and I need to get out of the rain, you can make a little tent with these. Take a rock, put it in the corner, tie your paracord to it, your rope, whatever, up to a tree and so on, and make you a little shelter to get out of the rain. So I've got one I can wrap myself with to get warm, and I've got one I can make a shelter with, and a third one as a spare, so if I'm needing someone else that might need to get warm. So I'm going to put that in there. I don't put them in a particular place, but let's do that. Put them in this zip compartment. So the next thing I do with that is plastic trash bags. The larger 55-gallon cans are better, but whatever trash bag you've got that's unscented, that's clean, I keep about a half a dozen of those rolled up with rubber bands. And you can use those things for shelter. You can use those things to gather water, you know, store things, put your clothes in a bag, wrap them up if you got to cross a wet area, a creek or a river or whatever. You know, you can keep your things dry in that bag, but you can also gather water in that bag to put through your filters to make it drinkable. You're not going to fill it and tote it, but like rain catchment off your tarp or off your shelter, you could catch a lot of water with that and direct it into your canteen or your water bottle. So the other thing I keep that I'm going to put in there with that is tinfoil. I keep a lot of it folded up nice and tight. This is about that long, y'all. So I keep a bunch of tinfoil. So if I need to cook or heat something, you can make a little drinkable cup out of it. You can make your own little frying pan, whatever you need for this. Or if I wanted to wrap say a squirrel, if I shot a squirrel to eat it or trapped one, I could wrap it in this tinfoil and put it on the edge of the fire, and it'll cook inside this tinfoil, and I don't have to worry about anything else getting to it, bugs and so on. So I keep some tinfoil in my bag. It's lightweight and it's got a lot of uses. So the next thing I'm going to cover is sanitation. In this little Ziploc bag here, I keep a roll of tissue, toilet paper. I keep a little bottle of sanitizer, and I keep a little packet of Kleenex, which can be used for wiping or blowing your nose or what, you know, cleaning my glasses, whatever. So I keep that in there as well. I'm going to put that into the next Ziploc zip container. I know it's going to be a much longer video. So that's going in there. I may come back and add things, you know, but whatever. All right, so then I've got a fire starter kit that I made myself. It's got cotton balls. It's got actual fire starter pieces of board in there. Excuse me. I've got some Strike Anywhere matches and some strikers in there. A couple extra boxes of matches. And then I've got a little medicine bottle in the middle that's full of Vaseline. So petroleum jelly. You can use that for burns and such to help protect your skin or clean a wound. You can put it on your lips when your lips get chapped and dry. That stuff has a lot of uses, but it's also, you can dip your cotton ball into it and it's flammable. So it'll help that cotton ball burn for about 5 to 8, sometimes 10 minutes, depending on how much you put on it. Help you get a fire started if needed to. So that's what's in this little Ziploc bag here. I don't think it'll fit in that compartment. Let me put it down here. Nah, I'll go back here. There's a lot of room in this bag. All right, so I'm gonna cover this. I was talking about with the shelter a little while ago. Here is about 300 feet of 550 paracord. I keep it in there. You never know when you need a little bit of cordage, but I guarantee you, if you're in the woods, you're in there long enough, you're gonna need some cordage. So you might as well put some in your bag. Let me tuck it down in there so I can get the zipper to close. Possibly. No guarantee. Yes, that compartment's too tight. So I'm going to take it And I'm going to put it in that pouch back there. All right. So one thing I had a lot of comments on when I did one of these videos before is a lot of people keep a roll of duct tape in their pack. I do not keep a roll of duct tape. One is you got to spend a lot of money to have a good roll, but I typically keep some of that wide, heavy-duty Gorilla tape on my work truck. So if I'm at work, I've got that I can grab and take with me. But what this is a roll of Velcro. I got a lot of comments on this before. Velcro is reusable. I can cut it and, you know, it'll stick back to itself. One side sticks to the other side. So it comes in handy. It's reusable. I can close things up with it. And it's not like the duct tape. Once you use it, you know, a little while, you're pretty much done with it. This stuff comes in real handy considering it's being reusable the way it is. So I suggest you get you a roll of that wide Velcro. It comes in, you know, different shapes and sizes, but get you some, put it in your go bag. It'll really help you in a pinch. So the next thing I keep in there, I've got some of these large white zip ties that are 36 inches long. I've got some medium-sized white ones, some small to medium, not small, but medium-sized black ones. Zip ties, there's just 1,000 uses for them. So why not have them, and they weigh nothing. That bag weighs a couple of ounces. Now, I know ounces make pounds, but all right, so I'm skipping over the food part of it, guys. The reason for that, I don't want to get fussed at about it. One, there's a spare seal for my water bottle. I keep it with me, and there's a pair of camo netting gloves, so they're not hot. I'm not a gloves person, but this will help keep me camouflaged. This is going in this top little pouch on the inside. All right, now I've got a couple other things I want to cover. One, this is something I keep with me in every go bag I've had for the last probably 10 or 15 years. It's got a very sharp little stainless steel hatchet, and man, this thing will shave the hair off your arm. It is sharp. It's got some weight to it, so if I need to do some, you know, building a shelter or something, this thing comes in handy. So I like to keep that in there, not because it's a little hatchet, but because of the fact that it's hard to replace that. So the other thing that's in this little pouch is my skinning knife. So I've skinned quite a few deer, hogs, and things with this over the years. It holds an edge really well. I can shave hair off my arm with it. Actually just did. So it holds the edge well. It's got the gut hook or the skinning hook. And I've really enjoyed having this knife for as long as I've had it. I've had it for well over 10 years, guys. It's hard to find something that lasts that long for you. It's not one that I want to beat on. It's not 100% full tang. It's got a thinner tang than the steel, but it does go all the way through. But it's not one I want to beat with, but as far as skinning, cutting, and all that, that knife comes in handy. So I keep this in my bag. Normally, it goes between the main pouch and the front pouch here is where I keep it. I stand it up in there. And then the next thing I keep in there, this is a Sammy Splint 2 military style splint. This thing unfolds. You can wrap arm or leg with it, and it'll help keep it immobile. So if you've got a broke limb or something, you know, it's just in case. I keep that in there so it's easy to get to. Now, military lymphatic compass. I don't know if I said that correctly, but those of you that know how to read them, you know they come in handy. And I've kept this one in there forever. I have not trained myself on it like I should have. I'm just being honest with you. I can sit here and tell you I'm an expert. You wouldn't know the difference, but I'm not going to do that. Second thing I do keep in there, and I've actually used this, is a saw. Now, a lot of people keep them little cable saws and things, and I've tried those. Y'all, they suck. They take a long time to cut through something. They don't last very long as far as, you know, before they're wore out. This is like a chainsaw blade with a strap on each end, actually a loop strap if I open it up. So you can stick your fingers through there, or your whole hand, and hold it, and you can pull. I've actually cut tree limbs bigger than my arm off of trees in less than 30 seconds with this thing. It works phenomenally well, and it's very, very inexpensive. You can get it off of Amazon or eBay or wherever you want to do your survival gear shopping. But this thing works really, really good, and it's very inexpensive. You know, 15, 20 bucks or less. I haven't priced it in a long time, so I could be telling you a story, but they're not very expensive. So this can also, it comes in a little pouch. You can put this on your belt, or you can put it on the molly webbing on the outside of your bag or your plate carrier, whatever. I don't do that. I keep it in a pouch on my go bag. So I try not to put a lot of heavy stuff at the top of the bag because it weighs it and wants to flip over. But we got to work about this side. So, all right, here's something I keep. A lot of people say, I don't need that crap. Bugs don't bother me. I can't stand them, y'all. Mosquitoes and stuff will eat your butt alive at night if you're sleeping in the woods. So I keep some deep woods off in here, and I've got some no gnats. This stuff works for me. The no gnats doesn't work as good as the deep woods, but makes it a lot more comfortable if you're trying to sleep out in the woods. So that's going in the front pouch. That's going to be something that I'm going to want to grab without digging through this whole bag. So then we're getting to one last thing before we get to the food. So what I have in here, and let me set that bag back. I planned on opening this to show y'all, and I'm going to pause and close it back up when I'm done. But what this is, I've got a video where I made an EMP-proof container. So this is my communications. Man, I can't tell which side. There it is. I thought it was this side. So this is one of those manila envelopes that's got the little bubble padding in it. And peel that off. It really comes in handy. I'm opening it, y'all, because I keep it sealed in my bag. But let me get this stuff peeled back. If I get there. There we go. Oh, man. Didn't mean to open it that way, but it's all right. It'll tape up and it'll seal. So it's a manila envelope, and if you take it, anything you want to protect from an EMP, you do not want to touch the covering, which is the foil in this case. So this is my communications bag, and what I keep in there is my little Bofang radio.
Channel mode.
Battery still shows full. I've got the charger here because I keep a little inverter in my vehicle so I can charge this radio up. These batteries last for days if you conserve your power on it. I've got the antenna in there with it, and I've got the earpiece with microphone and all that, so you're not announcing to the world if you're communicating with somebody. And then I keep some of this foil tape to close it back up, and there's about 10 feet of that tape here. So I keep this in this EMP protective container so that I've got a way to communicate with my group and with my family if crap does hit the fan, and if it's something like an EMP that takes out the grid. So it's lightweight, and all I've got to do is seal that back up. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to start the video back up. Alright guys, so I forgot to put my extra foil tape back in the bag, so I put it inside here in the top pouch. But I've got my radio back in the EMP-proof container, the charger, the earpiece, the microphone. You know, everything's in this bag. It's very lightweight, doesn't take a lot of, add a lot of weight to your bag, and it goes in that front compartment because I want to be able to get to it after crap's hit the fan. So that's pretty much all I'm putting in that front compartment. So I'm going to close this bag up there. And I usually take one of the zipper hangers and loop it through the other one so they don't come undone by accident. So now I've got to get the rest of the stuff put in. So, told y'all, peppermint, cinnamon candy, that'll help keep people with a few calories coming in, keep your mouth wet, keep you going. I've got, looks like a little Boy Scout thing. It's got a fork that folds out on it, a spoon that folds out. It's got knife blades. It actually comes apart, so you're not having to hold all of it to eat. I've had this thing for years, have no idea where it came from. Probably Walmart, but either way. This thing comes in handy. It all locks together, and it's got the corkscrew and the screwdriver, and kind of like a little Boy Scout tool, but bigger. I keep that with me. Now, talking about Boy Scouts, this little pot and pan set, you can still buy them if you've got a little boy, or you were a little boy, you remember using these when you were in Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts. It's a little frying pan. The handle swings open. Whoop, knocking it down. You've got the lid to it if you need it, or a secondary pan. It also comes with a little pot with a lid and the hanger, so you can hang it for, warming up your soup or stew or whatever. So I keep this. People think it's nothing. First of all, it's worked for the Boy Scouts for 70 years. It's very, very lightweight, and it's kind of hard to replace. So I keep this in my go bag just for that reason. Loosen up that little wing nut, and you spin the handle around. It locks back onto itself, snug that back down, and it's very compact. So I set that in. Let's see if I can find another place for it. I think it's better just to sit inside there. So that's where that's going to sit. Now I'm going to start zipping this bag up. I want to hold it together while I start zipping it up. So if everything else is packed. So the last thing that I keep in my bag is food. Yes, I can shoot a squirrel, I can shoot a rabbit, I can shoot a deer, hog, whatever. But if you're out there shooting, you're drawing attention to yourself. So a few things I keep in there, and I wrote on here when I vacuum sealed them. These are cinnamon food bars. It's 410 calories per bar. I keep a couple of them in there. They're actually good. They come in like an 8-pack or a 12-pack. So I keep a couple of them in there because I can eat that while I'm on the move. I like peanuts. Some people are allergic. Don't do that in your bag. But I vacuum seal some peanuts to put in there. That's about 4 ounces worth. So that's something you can pop in your mouth and eat while you're on the move. And then I haven't bought any to replace it, but I'm still going to put the crackers in. I had the tuna fish in the pouch. I don't have any in the kitchen. I already looked, but I plan on picking up a couple more of those. I had a few in here to go with all these saltine crackers that I vacuum sealed and put in. Keeps them fresh. Then the next thing, if I really need, if I've got more than one day travel home and I really need to eat or whatever, I keep a lot of MREs in my bag. Now this is the one that my buddies told me everybody likes the most. It's the chicken noodles, and not that one. Which one is this? That's chicken noodle. I can't remember, but anyway, this is chicken noodles and vegetables and sauce. I got a couple of those. This will feed me for a whole day, one bag. I guarantee it. I don't eat big meals, so this will feed me for an entire day. I'll start it, eat some later, eat some later. So I know I can get at least a day travel out of each one of these. I've got 4. I've got 2 of those chicken noodles, vegetables, and sauce. I've got 1 of the Southwest style beef and black beans, and then I've got 1 spaghetti with beef and sauce. So there's 4 of those. So that's at least 4 days of travel plus the other stuff I've got. At that point, I'm going to be looking for shooting squirrel or rabbit or whatever and cooking that. But I'm going to put this stuff in there on top of the clothes. And if you notice, I'm standing them up. I don't want one weighing down on the other. Probably won't hurt them, but and the gap on the side is going to be for the packs of tuna fish I'm going to get and refill in here. And then all these saltine crackers I'm putting in now. That goes with the tuna fish well or just by themselves. And then the peanuts and the food bars. Now I can finish zipping this up. And if you hang on a minute, I'll go weigh it and see exactly what my bag weighs. All right, guys, what I did is I took it into the bathroom. I stood on the scale, fully dressed with everything in my pockets, weighed myself. And then I grabbed the bag, reset the scale because it's digital, and weighed myself holding this bag. This bag weighs 27 pounds. That's with that water in there. So if I dropped that water off, I'd lose about 4 pounds. If I was wearing some of those clothes, it wouldn't be as much on my back, so on and so forth. But like I said, I keep my plate carrier with me too, and that plate carrier's got some weight to it with the extra mags and the rifle and the pistol and, you know, all that stuff that you're going to have. That's going to put, you're going to be toting 40 pounds of stuff. How far can you go on with a 40-pound load on you? You know, it's like, I've seen women tote their children when they're 30, 40 pounds, and it amazes me how long they hold them and how far they tote them sometimes. Y'all women are something else when it comes to that. Daddies go, hey, you can walk. But either way, I know it's a long video. I apologize for that. But you saw it. I already had it unpacked. You saw everything that I put in my go bag, plus my plate carrier, plus your firearm, plus your rifle, you know, whatever else you're going to be toting. It's a lot of stuff. Are you prepared for that? You know, I'd rather have it not need it than need it and not have it. That little food frying pan, the Boy Scout style stuff, it don't weigh hardly anything. It's aluminum. It's very lightweight. Wearing this bag packed right like it is, keeping things straight up and down, keeps things from poking through. It's got a stiff back to it that flexes, but it doesn't let things poke me. This bag's very comfortable to wear. Get you a bag. Don't cut corners on some cheap $20 Temu backpack. Don't do it. Get you a bag that is comfortable for wearing for long term. If you've got to walk 8, 10, 12 hours to get home, you want a bag that's going to hold up and going to be comfortable for you to wear. You don't want it where all the weight's on your shoulders. You don't want it where all the weight's on the lower part of your back. You want to be able to distribute that weight well across your body so that you can move, you can respond if needed, and you can get some distance, you know, covered. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth on a get home bag or a bug out bag. I appreciate y'all watching, especially if you lasted this long toward the end. Thank y'all so much for that. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I promise all my videos aren't this long. I really appreciate it. Y'all remember what I always tell you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared. If you don't have a bag, get one. I don't care if it's a trash bag to start off with. Anything's better than nothing. Get you a bag. Be ready.